hair.
Ah, you can call it amazing, but sometimes it's crazy.
It's
Hey,
kombucha.
I have a glass of wine. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Huddle Time with Ronit. How are you guys all doing? I am speaking for you right from Sedona, Arizona. Last week we were in Zion, and I can't even tell you how much I love the deserts. The deserts are phenomenal. And we're going to talk about it today. I have a very special friend today, and I'm really super excited to host her. Hey, Shauna, I'm so happy you're here. I was really hoping you'll join in. But maybe I could even send you a link to StreamYard, and you can even hop on to us, and we can have menage en trois. so, uh, so I'm calling you guys here. Here we are at Huddle Time with Ronit every Monday. We come here live from anywhere in the country. As you know, we all travel in an airstream. If none of you have heard of me, my name is Ronit Enos, and I am the founder of Salon Cadence Academy, training for salon and spas owners and anybody who is in this beauty industry and need a lot of business and a lot of help creating the company that works for you, the life that you want. This is what we do. And Tina is one of our members at Salon Cadence. She's been a member for 2 years. So I really wanted to share her knowledge, her expertise with everybody today. And as you know, every week we bring an expert in this field that helps all of us grow our business and grow ourselves and invest in yourself and invest in how you can live your life better right now. Yes, right now. Without further ado, I really would like to introduce my very good friend, Tina Mcintosh. And Tina Mcintosh has been in the industry for over 20 years. She's got such an amazing portfolio. And her expertise is really in hair restoration. But even before that, building relationship with your customers to the deepest core that helps her retain her customer more than you even know. So, hi, Tina. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored. I'm sitting among friends and loving the fact that people before me that I know and worship and believe in. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk to your people.
Oh, well, yes. Thank you for being here today. I've always wanted, Tina and I, we have conversation at least every 2 weeks. And even though Tina has been a member of Salon Cadence and a student in the academy for a long time, I have learned so much from you. I have learned so much from you, everything about hair restoration. In Shenna, who is on our call, she's right here.
Okay.
And we share a couple of great things. First of all, you and Shauna share hair restoration. She has a salon in Austin, Texas, and she specializes in hair restoration as well. So I'm so happy you're here. And beside that, Shanna and I have decided to buy an Airstream 2 or 3 months ago and travel around the country working remotely. So that's what we share together right now. So anybody,
Excellent.
tell us a little bit, Tina, about your career. Tell us how you evolved to hair restoration and why you decided to specialize in that field.
Yeah, so funny story. I was a brand new stylist, just out of the gate, working in a brand new salon. So no clients, and the salon had no clients. And the girl next to me was in a band, and she said, I need my hair to be longer. And I heard there's this way, this is back in the 80s, and there's this way that you can like weave it in. So she bought some hair, and I did my best at like with no instructions, no nothing. And it lasted like 3 days. And I felt like that was a lot of work for 3 days. So I went out and looked for more education. And back at the time, there was none. So this man showed up at the salon a couple weeks later, and he said, if you have $200 cash, I'll come to you and I'll teach you how to do this. And that's how the whole thing started. I've always been in hair. At 12, I was adding falls to people's. I was a competitive roller skater, and it was common to wear like the big fall. And so I was putting falls on people, but I had obviously no idea what I was doing. And from that weaving experience, I decided, I need to get some better education. And I found a company down in South Florida back in the day. And it was so funny. I walked into this hair replacement seminar, and I was, I think maybe one of 3 women out of 1,000 seats. And definitely I was 20 and everyone else was 40. And yeah, and they had, like, when I walked in the room, I saw a lot of bad Elvis hair, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
And sat down as inconspicuously as I could with my friend, who was also a 20-year-old woman. And the first thing they did was they showed this video of how to do hair restoration. And I'm a woman. We don't cut hair to add hair. That's just not something we do. So they start showing how to remove a hairpiece, and they got in with the clippers and just started, digging underneath the hairpiece with the clippers and shaving the head down. And it was an audible gasp that came out of my mouth. And I was super embarrassed because I had no idea what I was getting into. And basically at that moment, I decided that there probably had to be a better option. The only education was for men's hair replacement, but knowing that women needed hair, I decided at that moment that I was going to do my very best to create techniques that were more women friendly. I was 20, and at that time, everybody talked to this part of my head because my hair is very, very thin, and I had lost my hair due to stress. And then years later, I lost it due to cancer. I'm healthy and everything's good now. But so this has been a journey for myself as well. So I always like to talk about when people are interested in getting into this, there's 2 reasons. Basically, it cuts down to 2 reasons. It's financial or it's your heart. And whichever reason that is, we've got you covered. We can educate you and motivate you and teach you to look within the guests that you already have to learn your craft and then grow your business.
I think that people are missing out on this specialty. I really do think people are missing out a lot on this specialty. There has been so many times when I worked behind a chair, in the years that I worked behind a chair, that I would say one of at least 5 of my clients always say, Ronit, I love your hair. It's so thick and you got so much of it. And I wish I had more hair like yours. I mean, I hear it all the time. What they don't know, that I don't have a lot of hair. I just have big, crazy hair. And I literally lose so much hair every day in the shower. Well, actually, I'm in the Airstream now, so I don't take a lot of showers. You guys all needed to know that. But, if I do take a shower, I literally lose so much hair, and I've been losing hair for a long time. I have a thyroid condition, and I've always suffered from an anxiety and stress, so I always lose a lot of hair. So, when I feel that way, and I'm a hairdresser, and I know how much hair I'm supposed to lose, and it's okay. What is the amount of hair that when your client is actually losing, that you start saying, oh, we need to talk about this?
Yeah, so let's like give some guidelines. So typically it's 50 to 150 hairs a day is the safe zone. The 150 is more the oh shit moment, but I always caution my guests, there's 2 times a year that we lose more hair, and that is in the summer and in the winter. We are animals, and just like our dogs, when you see if you have an animal and you see a lot of hair on your shirt, you're going to see it in the shower. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So, and then the other thing that I always caution my guests, because my guests all know that I specialize in this. So, I mean, they see 3 hairs and they start panicking. Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? And, while I'm always looking to service them, I don't want them to panic for no reason. I always ask them to look at the length of the hair, literally take it out of the drain, take it apart, tease them out. If they're long, full length pieces of hair, and it's more than 50, we need to look at that. And it could be simple. Change your shampoo and conditioner and add a hair fortifying treatment.
Yes.
Super simple. And
Yeah.
by the way, if you're
Yeah.
going to help someone, and I think we all agree you have to gain their trust.
Yes.
Let's just say we're dealing with an existing guest. They already trust you with their hair and they want you to help them. But now we're in a whole different realm. And you don't want to oversell them. You don't want to get them right into hair. You want to give
Yeah.
them some options. Let's work on this. Let's talk about it. I love it when a doctor says, "Oh, well, you're having hair loss. Whatever you do, don't worry about your hair loss."
Yes.
Is that the dumbest thing you've ever heard? Like, of course I'm going to worry about my hair loss.
Of
So
course.
I like to give them a little something to chew on. A shampoo dedicated to cleaning out the follicle, dealing with the DHT, a treatment that will help with that, and a plan, like a shampoo plan, like how often should I shampoo my hair. Are you super physically active? Every time you exercise, you increase your DHT level by 300%, which can cause more hair loss. So doesn't mean you have to stop exercising, but you have to deal with reining in that DHT level. So
Well, so when you do lose that amount of hair, and of course everybody freaks out to a certain point, right?
sure.
And Shauna is on our call, and she says, um she's funny. She says the shit they tell the clients. And she says there's a lot of solutions. And yes, there's a lot of solutions. But the thing is, if you really don't know what to tell your client, I mean, how many times do you see on a client's scalp, you see holes, of like a patch of no hair, or
Sure.
on the side, or a breakage for some sort of something. And I don't know how many times you see, but different weird freckles. We are the one source and the only source that sees them on a regular basis, right? On a regular basis. And it's our job. Our job is to know exactly what to advise them, not just to speak out of you know what, but just because you know it. So what does it take for somebody like us? And let's not talk about money. I'm just getting a little comfortable here. Let's just not talk about money, because if we're gonna, I love to talk about money, and we're gonna go and talk about profitability and about money. But let's not take this money and put it aside. Tell me about our responsibility is to inform them if there's something that doesn't look right, and then do what? What can we, as a professional beautician and a professional specializing in making people happy inside and out, right? Other than being a therapist, what can we do to diagnose, and what is in our power to help in that category? Please share. Go for it.
So I'll ask you to watch. I can't see the comments. So if you get any comments
I'm going to read
related to this,
Well,
So
Bill Caesar is here, which I'm so happy.
Okay,
He told me he's
excellent.
not going to make it, so I'm so happy. But I will read to you the comments. And
So
please
what?
let me know. Let me know, everybody, where you're from, because I'd love to know where you're tuning in from.
So to answer that question, I'm just gonna be real direct. Here's the thing: be direct, and provide answers, and be private. So I can't tell you how many times I've had a 12-year-old girl, a 14-year-old girl come into the salon with her mom. I've been doing the mom's hair for a long time. Now I'm seeing the daughter, and she comes in and she's literally got mats in the back because she's not cleansing her scalp well enough, and she's got some hair loss back there. I need to be direct. I may walk away from the young lady and speak to the mom or, I'll send the young lady to the bathroom or something and say, Mom, we have a problem here and we need to deal with this now, because this is just an issue with cleanliness. No offense. And I know the reason I said look for comments, because I know other stylists that will resonate with them. But this is an issue, and this is something that starts early and can follow them. Same with young men. If they're not cleansing their scalp, they're going to run into issues with hair thinning and hair loss. So, and then if let's say it's a 45-year-old woman who just lost her job or is getting a divorce or has a thyroid issue, whatever any of those things may be. I've lived through pretty much all of this. You just need to be very direct. You need to make sure you're not in front of anyone else. If you're in a salon environment, you want to pull them aside when you're all done, and take some time and sit down and really talk to them, connect with them face to face, not looking in the mirror. Really let them know that you care, because that's the most important piece, because they need to trust you. And then offer a couple of options, whatever those might be. A watch and wait, a plan of action, a solution, so that they don't have to look at, maybe they've told you they're thinning and you're like, oh, you're fine. Why do stylists say, oh, you're fine, when a client says, I think I'm losing my hair? I think it's the same as, I would like a balayage and I'm only comfortable doing a highlight. It's education. It's what we know. It's what we're comfortable with.
And thank you for everybody for coming in and posting where you're from. Hey, Jackie, so good to see you there. And Rachel, so good to see you. Kim, I see you just came in. It's great. It is all about transparency. It's about having the integrity as a stylist. And if you can look at yourself as a specialist, you're no different than a doctor. Not at all. You're no different than a lawyer. You're not different than any of the experts. You chose to be a stylist. Your responsibility is to be honest and transparent. So if somebody wants me to make her blonde and create a beautiful blonde for her, I'm going to tell her, if she is a brunette, that it's going to take me 3 to 4 or 5 times to get her there, and that I am going to fry her hair for a little bit. I mean, it's just the way it is. I'm also going to tell her how much money it's going to cost her and how many times she's going to come and see me. And I'm going to give her the whole scoop. And I'm going to say, do you still want it? So, just being honest. Now, okay, so the same thing happens when you're actually having to let somebody know, I found a weird freckle on your scalp.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I need you to go see a doctor about it. Yes?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I can't tell you how many times I've been applying color and I find a basal cell. And I'm like, I don't like the way this looks. Let's take a picture of it. I'm going to text it to you. That way it's time stamped and we're going to look at it next month, but I want you to go ahead and schedule with your doctor. So it's building the trust and also letting them know that you care. And then what if it's an alopecia spot? What if it's a quarter size alopecia spot in the back near the ear? That's not really going to show, but if it starts traveling, then we have an issue. And instead of saying, I don't know what to do, educating yourself to what the options are huge. And I would like the opportunity to show you sort of what I have going on, if that's okay.
I would love that.
Okay. So, again, I did, if you're tuning in late or if you didn't hear, my first employer he was a man. He used to always talk to this part of my head because you could always see my whole scalp.
Wow.
So these are new. They're from a company that I'm educating for. This is just for a color change. And this, I have to show you, like, I'm not going to get into all the deets, but this is a small piece of hair. It is all hand tied. These are brand new. They're called butterfly clips.
Okay.
And they are amazing. They're silicone covered. And I'll show you in a moment how easily they go in. But I specifically did a crazy color to show you guys how Easily they blend in. This is not my hair color, right? And look at the difference in my bangs just from taking that off. So this is a crown or a bang piece. And what's really cool about this, you can see that I've created a part. So I can make a bang and cover the top of my head. So see, I'm thin here too.
I see, yeah.
So I can take this whole piece. Let me make sure I get this on right. Yeah. I can take this whole piece and just listen. I don't know if you could hear the clipping.
We did.
And just comb it into place. And I'm sort of back in business, but you can see kind of where I'm going with that.
Ooh. Wow.
That is so
amazing.
So that's that. And then there's more because there's less than what you see. So that's the first new fun and exciting piece. It can be used as a bang going crossways. So I could change the parting of it and just put it in here like this for a woman. Let's say a woman has all, like, let's say Ronit, who's all one length, really wanted to rock a bang, but didn't want to make that commitment. We blow her out straight. We put this in, we cut it in, we blend it, boom, done. She's got a bang. All of your 20 and 30 something beautiful ladies who want a major change, but they don't want to make a commitment, this can just be a fashion piece. Do you follow me? Doesn't have to be for hair loss correction. It can just be a bang for somebody who has all one length hair. Yeah? Or it can be a replacement issue. Now, the second thing I want to show you, these are my lifesavers. These pieces are a similar situation, but see how it's a smaller piece? And let me show you the other one. And how this works. This has 2 butterfly clips in it. Let me get that centered. There we go. They snap on. They're silicone coated, so they're not going to damage the hair. This is all hand tied. But what's really exciting about this, because everybody has clip-ins, and I've followed lots of different people, but these come out. Wefted hair grows straight down or comes straight down out of the hair. I can actually create a lot of volume with this if I want. My hair is straight right now, so I don't want a ton of volume, but I could make this Texas hair. And how this works, you can see I don't have as much as I would like. I can literally just take this piece, pop it down in, and I'm in business. What do you think?
I think that's amazing. I think that, when you first took your first piece, and I lost you for a couple of minutes. I got offline, by the way, so I don't know if everybody saw it. And
okay.
But when you got off, the first piece, and I've seen those butterflies before, so I know how incredible they are. But when you just start taking them from underneath, and it's so easy. I mean, the first time that I show a client those butterfly clips, for all of those clients who are so shy and don't want to put anything not natural in the hair, those specific who are so fine, that's like the first thing they told me, where do we get this? Where do we get this? So that's the thing, right? The first thing to start is it's like right there for all of the stylists around.
So I'm super self-conscious without my hair, even though I know that I can have it, but like I just can see such a difference in even my fringe. And I do feel more comfortable with my hair. If I could see how much, So I was working with New Concepts company that I teach with sometimes, and I was asked to do this presentation, and I looked at my assistant and I said, I think I would wear these maybe sometime. And she goes, honey, I would wear those to the grocery store on a Wednesday. Those look great on you. And I thought about it and I was like, you know what? You're right. I wore them for the 6 of these clip-ins. My hair was more one length at the time. So I had 2, 2, and 2 in the back. And I wore them for every minute of a year. And I mean, I would not go to the pool you can't swim in them, but I wouldn't go to the post office without them. I just didn't feel dressed. Like I might not have makeup on, but I have my hair in. And
So
what was weird for me was, even though I know that it made me feel that much better, I still wasn't sure if it was right for my guests. But let me just tell you,
yeah,
they love them. They love them. It's so easy to do. And if you don't do hair replacement, but you're interested in learning, this is the gateway drug. This is what you do to transition into that full top of head piece for your guests who really need more.
yeah.
And you will not disservice them by starting with this for yourself, for your education, and also for them.
Now, how do you turn a client from cosmetic and more of a cosmetic look from extension into starting to talk to them about hair restoration? Where, I mean, first of all, let's even go before that and say there's a lot of solution today for hair restorations. So do you mind naming a few of them? And I would love, Shana, I know you specializing also in hair restoration. What are you specializing, Shana, specifically? But Tina, I would love for you to talk about what are the solutions that we have today in our control.
Well, I'd like to answer your first question, and it is like, how do you get there?
Yes.
The answer is, you don't have to get there. They end up there. So your guests are, let's say, you've seen somebody for 5 years, and all of a sudden the hair starts to thin, and it can be a slow burn or a fast burn, but they know it. How many times have you been behind the chair? I mean, like this week, and somebody says, my hairline's receding. It's moving back, and I don't want that to get any worse. And what do we do as stylists? We say, you're fine. I see it all the time. I've been guilty of it myself before, just because I'm not sure that they're ready for the conversation. But we have to pay attention to that, because not only is it a buying signal, and we all know what those are, and we want to make sure that we address those buying signals, but also they're crying out for help at this point. They trust us so much. We're the only ones allowed to touch them, and all of these other, benchmark moments that we have with people. And if they're asking for assistance, it is our duty, in my opinion. I work from my heart. I'm sad to say I'm not as financially driven as some people that I admire, but I am definitely, because I think I have experienced hair loss twice in my life, and continually, I am so much more passionately driven. And I think, to answer your question, you don't have to initiate the conversation. They always start it for you. It is our job to have
to
answers.
take to the next level. So what are the first thing you would do when you find out that there is you do have a problem? So what would you start? Like, what are the levels that you're going to go through?
Before and afters. I start with before and afters, and typically, if they're just getting thin, let's say they're a mature woman who is getting thinner on the sides, that's extensions. Easy peasy. Tape, MBR, bonding, links, whatever. But that's simple. But typically it moves past that quickly. So it's clip-ins. It's, again, this butterfly situation, she's a game changer, man. I've not seen anything that you can find that is 4x2, 5x2, that you can pop on the head and literally make the entire top of your head thicker and cover up balding areas or thinning areas this fast. I mean, it's just not a thing that happens.
That's a no-brainer, and that's something that you sell as a retail. You have to match the color to their color.
Yep.
So that's one service that you're doing, and then you carry it in your salon, and you
keep them in stock. Yep, I keep them in stock.
Mm-hmm.
And I can literally, I have some that I have what I love to do, and this is unique, this company that I work with, they actually keep them, they have an open stock in silver.
What is the
In a,
company name?
I'm with New Concepts. I work with New
Right,
Concepts.
right. So
Um,
we'll put the link for everybody at the end of the day. And I think what they have right now is, if you want to tap into it, this is a perfect opportunity because they are doing Cyber Monday deal. So if you hear
oh,
about it,
yes.
and if you give the code of America Beauty, you will have that um, discount for a couple days more. We're going to
Hmm.
put it all in the link. So it'll be great. But so tell me how you actually sell it, and what's the best way
So,
for your
so
guest.
I literally, if they say that they're having issues or if their extensions aren't like making them happy anymore, I will literally just pull out a piece of hair and pop it on their head. I have a couple of pieces that I keep in stock. And my favorite thing is to take something that does not match, like this, and pop it on their head and show them, even when it doesn't match, how seamlessly you can blend it in. And it just shows them, because one of the first things that all extension clients say is, how are you going to match my color? So if I can show them that it doesn't even matter if the color matches, because the way this is designed, it's so seamless that it just pops on and pops off. And then the next thing I show them is I just tug on it. And when it doesn't move, they're like, so I can live in this? Yes, absolutely. Moving from there, to your point, um, depending on what their issue is, it's a custom situation. It's a sit down consultation. What are they looking for? Do they want day wear? Do they want permanent attachment? We talk about custom, and then I walk them through what delivery looks like. It's around this much, or it's specifically this much. Um, this is what your daily maintenance is going to look like. A lot of people are very worried about cost. And one of the like weird perks is, if they're a color client of mine and they come every 3 weeks because their hair is so thin and they don't want their roots to show, we can push that back to 6, because you're not going to see their roots anymore.
Well, we don't
So
want that, do we? We don't want to push them up to 6. We want to
I,
come as open as possible. But the thing
it,
is, yeah, right. But the thing is, what's nice about it is that you really have a solution for them, whether it's extensions for volume, extensions for length, cosmetic. The clips are the easiest thing to just send them home with, because and even two different types of looks. Now, what are the lengths that those clips come with?
so the top piece that I'm working with right now comes in an 8-inch, but you can customize it to any length you want.
Okay. Okay.
If you're dealing with top of head, this 8-inch is designed to diffuse all throughout the top of the head form. If you are trying to build in length, that's going to happen more throughout the perimeter to look natural. So from parietal down. So this is going to be a specific fix. And then if, let's say, they had longer hair and they wanted thicker, longer hair, that would be extensions, or the butterfly volumizers, the small ones. So
Mm-hmm.
these come longer. They come 12 inches, and you can custom order them longer. And again, with the clip-in, the way that it works,
It's so
it's,
easy.
I
So
mean,
easy.
you literally just press it down and it's in there. And I mean, it's in there for the day.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah.
amazing, and I love that solution. Of Abel. Now there's a couple of good questions just came in. One was
Sure.
from Rachel Kaminsky. Rachel, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. How do
Hi,
you
Rachel.
address? She says, how do you address when a client asks with the clips for more hair loss? The way
Yeah.
she says, the way I address this is different than when I first started my business. I'd love to hear your take on it.
So the question is about the clip itself, and does it cause more hair loss? Correct?
Yes, that's what I
What
understand.
a great question that comes up all the time. And I have a long-winded answer. I'm going to give the short one. So original hair clips are those combs that go like this, right? And then there's a bar across and it might have silicone, but it wears off. Those, that design is over 100 years old. It's never been improved on. It's like the bobby pin, never been improved on. This butterfly clip is,
The new way.
it's completely wrapped in silicone. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
My bad manicure. It's completely wrapped in silicone, and these little clips only grab a small amount of hair. The silicone actually makes contact. So imagine a Band-Aid that would let go if you needed it to. They're very strong, and they're not designed because of the design. See how they're rounded and they have no origination because of the way they pop out from the base. They're not designed to be worn in exactly the same spot every day.
Which is what makes it very natural.
And I have to tell you, I live in extensions. I live in tape-ins. I live in some sort of extension at all times. I don't like my own hair. And I took a break from extensions for a full year and wore this, and my hair was better than it had ever been. Okay, and that is a fact.
So here's another question that came from Bill. Bill says, could you put up, in order to entice conversation and start conversations, could you put up a sign in our big bar saying, ask me about hair restoration?
1000%.
That's amazing, Bill. I think that's a great idea.
Here's what's going to happen, Bill. You're not going to hear only from the guest in your chair. I have a 100-year-old guest. She's 100 years old. I was at an event a while back, and I met her daughter. And the daughter came up to me after the event and said, please, can I bring my mom in? And I was like, sure, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And when she came blowing in the salon one day, the daughter was quick to tell me that she was 100 years old. And she hated that thing in the back of her head, when you wake up and you get that split.
Yeah, the flat. Yeah.
And she was like, I can't with that split, not one more day. And so I made her, I took one of these small butterfly clip-ins and I cut it short. She had a LOL situation going on, and I curled it and customized it to her color, teased a little bit. Don't you know, she put it in herself. I had her take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in. She was so happy. And if you go on my Instagram, you can see the after. You cannot see it. And so it solved her problem. So you'll get not only the person in your chair, you're going to get 17 other people that they know. My sister, my sister-in-law, my friend. I get text messages with pictures.
1 out of 3 women. It's amazing. So there's a couple of great more questions. Let me ask you two, and I love those questions that just came in. What is the most difficult challenge to building a hair a hair replacement clientele? Like, what would be the most difficult challenges to build those clientele?
I think getting quality education so that you can grow with your clientele.
Love it. How do you get the quality of education?
Well, I have several companies that I've worked with, but my friend Onya, she's amazing. She started, she worked in her brother's factory as her very first job at 12 in Korea.
Yeah.
In a wig store, in a wig manufacturing company.
Yeah.
And she has so much passion for the industry. She holds the patent for tape-ins.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that she can't do. I can send her a picture of an animal and she can figure out how to put hair on them.
I love that. She's so devoted to this.
Yeah. So she's together, we've come up with a digital learning platform. So you can sign up and learn at your own pace. You get concierge service with me.
Yeah.
And with the team. Everyone on the team can field calls and deal with technical issues, customizing hair pieces for clients. Mm-hmm. And it's the whole package.
Yeah.
I just love working with them.
And we actually sponsors, and we teamed up with Tina Salon Cadence Academy, and we teach the business behind it. What does it take to maximize on your time and your specialty? So I love that. There's another couple of questions that came in. How do you have this conversation in public salon without embarrassing a client? So if you're in a salon when there's not really a private space, how do you create that private space? I wonder if you're going to talk about what I'm thinking, but if not, I'll mention it out.
So I wasn't always in a private space, and um, people have burning desires, and they'll just blurt it right out, and then it's up to you to decide how to manage it. But basically, having the conversation typically starts with them. You can start the conversation, but as it comes up, and it can be so subtle, and I'd love to hear if anyone wants to make comments about how their clients have started that conversation, whether you were able to run with it or not. I think it would be interesting to see the different approaches that guests make, but it could be something so simple as, do my bangs need to be cut thicker this time? Or, my hairline's creeping back. And you can have that conversation in the bowl, where you're more intimate. You can have it at checkout. You can absolutely just sit down in front of them, so you're not standing behind them and talking into the mirror, and sit down, because they deserve a moment at this point. They're 100% vulnerable. And you can also schedule a callback. Like, I'd really love to talk with you about this. I can see you're not comfortable in this environment, but you know what? We can really sit down and have that conversation. What do you look like in an hour?
One of the greatest things that you have the ability as a hairstylist is to be intentional in what you want to do, what you want to create. One of the things that you can do is you can promote a day, once a month, a day, every month, the same day, same time, of free consultation for hair restoration. Everything you wanted or needed to know about what are your options if you suffer from hair loss, what you can do to prevent it, what you can do to bring some back, what you can do about how to restore the look, just hair restoration or hair volume consultation. So if you just put it out there that you're going to devote one day a month for complimentary consultation, what's better than that, right?
Yeah, I'd like to speak to that as well. In one of the packages that we do offer for education, and I'm not here, I promise you, I'm not here to sell. It's not what I do. But one of the packages that I offer, because I know it's hard to get through, the sell through is hard. It's expensive, and it's life changing, and there are a lot of unsures when you're introducing someone to this. One of the packages that I offer, when we can travel, I actually will come to you. And day one is education, product knowledge. Day two, you've lined up consultations for me, and I will do your consultations with you and really get to the nitty gritty of what that guest needs. Through my experience, I've made tons of mistakes, and we make mistakes, or we can buy them. So I let you buy them from me, so you don't have to make the mistakes that I made. And I will sit down with your guest, and I will teach them what they need to know while you learn and earn. And they will basically be your learning models and your built-in guests afterwards. And it's powerful.
I think that's so wonderful that you have so much passion for this, Tina, to teach us all about how to have a really good, heartfelt service that we give our guests, and something more that means so much to our guests. Now, when you do have a guest that is completely yours when it comes to hair restoration, most likely they would never leave, but they are also going to be your color clients, your cutting clients. Now, but before that, when the client does go through the process of identifying what's the issue, one of the things that I think it's really nice that we have is the service that we give is trichology.
Yes.
For anybody who does not know much about trichology, it's a great to become specialized in trichology, to be able to prevent something and to able to help any a live root that you have on the scalp is a phenomenal service that we're able to do today as specialists in hair loss. You know,
Yes.
yeah.
And you can do both at the same time. You can do clip-ins while you're growing your living hair. You can do a topper while you're growing your living hair. And I strongly recommend that. In fact, one of the leading doctors groups in the country, Bosley, they are huge proponents of that. And they refer their hair their medical restoration clients out to local stylists to assist them during that process. So it might be a topper for a woman. It might be products. It might be scalp treatments.
There's just so much solution. So the best way to learn about it is to get your education. Tina is a great educator. Shauna is a great educator. Karen Gordon is a great educator.
Yes.
This is something that we can offer our customer right now. I know that another question came in is what does it take to build a department in your salon that dedicates 100% to that? Today, we have something that calls the pod. The pod is a specific location that can be built very inexpensively in your salon. It's almost like it's a pod. It's like a salon. And you saw it. It's from Leon Alexander, Eurexo Design out of
It's
Florida.
amazing.
And it's amazing. And it's like a celebrity feeling, a privacy feeling that you can give your client right from the get-go. So what else does it take to build a department like that? Sean, I know you have a great department and you completely converted your business to just hair restoration. I think you even were talking about going from 6 figures to 7 figures studio. So what does it take to build, and how long does it take to build that department in the salon?
You can get started within 18 months and really grow a strong business. And once your name is out there and once you market properly, there's nowhere else to go. I don't know if the viewers have researched this a whole lot, but typically a hair studio, the old school studios, they don't color or really cut. So what the guest ends up with is very not fashion forward. So what we're enjoying right now in the industry is hairstylists, professional artisans who can recreate a designer look or a fashion forward look for their guests so they don't look like those Elvis clients that we've seen in the past. And really again, I hate to say that it's all education, but there's only so many ways to do it. You decide what's right for the guest, you put it on them, you make them look amazing, you send them out the door. The rest takes care of itself. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, I think that everybody needs to know that it doesn't take a lot. You have great support. If anybody's interested, please send us questions. Let us know. What are your concerns? What are your fears?
What's your biggest fear? Yeah.
What is your biggest fear?
What's stopping you?
Yeah. Ellison just came up and says, Ellison from Chicago, I would love to offer my clients a natural hair topper. There are very few that I've found. I would love any and at all information for ordering. This is so great. See, Allison, we're going to have that information at the end so you can check into it. And Shana Moll said her business has been so strong. And I know, Tina, your business has been so strong this year, almost to say COVID proof, right? Because you created digital consultations.
Yes.
You even created a way of helping with hair restoration and matching what they need and measuring it through digital consultation. So
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that, because that's an innovation on its own. Tell me about that.
So what is that? Necessity is the mother of all invention. Guests were, they couldn't do their hair and they didn't know how to manage. And I wasn't in a place where I could be at risk. I didn't want to break the law. So I had to get creative and explaining and walking them through how to manage their hair. And sometimes I was adding clips to their hair. Sometimes I was putting them in new hair that maybe they were using permanent attachment, and I had to put them in toppers that are more of a clip-in situation. Some of them went into butterfly clips. It kind of depended on the situation. But what's really cool is we're able to match digitally. They can send me samples, different pictures, and then the almighty iPhone has a tape measure application. So I could literally have them, I'm going to stoop down, I could have them hold up their natural hair, take measurements from several different places in their head, and I could go back in the salon, put their hair on a canvas block and pre-cut their hair in. And a couple people, I even had to do desperate measures, right? I would never normally do this, but, get your scissors out and we're going to just trim around the edges together, you and I, finger angle and I have a COO of a huge global company that needed to be on Zoom meetings and she just couldn't go without. So we made it work.
Yeah. Which I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Shanna mentioned something that in Austin, Texas, they they considered that hair loss restoration is a necessity, and they never closed. So they never closed. And all you got to do is find an attorney in your area to prove that you are in a medical field and not just in cosmetic hair. Yeah. So great. So good, everybody. I hope you guys had so much to learn, considering the opportunity we have here for our industry and how you can become even more so specializing and grow your business even more and your expertise even more and enjoy something that is so rewarding for you. Tina, last words you want to join and just let us know any last words for our audience before we say goodnight.
Be fearless. Take care of your guests. Take care of yourself. Work smarter, not harder.
Yes.
And educate yourself. Systems that are in place that work for you is what you're looking for.
Thank you, Tina. Now, what's the best way to reach to you and to reach for the clips, the butterfly clips?
So go through New Concepts. It's New Concepts Hair Goods. Renee, you'll put that in the link. Yeah. And you can reach out to me directly if you like. It's Tina Mcintosh at Hairland on Instagram, or you can go Facebook. And you can just put my contact information in the link as well. And I'll be happy to speak with anyone directly if they are nervous to get started. And then just obviously reach out to the team at New Concepts. Everyone on the team is very well versed at how to get started. And they offer tremendous support after the fact as well. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Be fearless and service.
Be fearless. Don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, just tell us what are you afraid of, and we'll get rid of that fear for you. So, okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us with Huddle Time with Ronit. Every Monday, we're here at 7 o'clock Central Time. It's 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Is there anything that you guys want us to bring to you? If you have any questions, please send us an email, let us know. You can reach me at hello@ronit.com, or you can go to saloncadence.com, and you can actually come into IG, Ronit's Coaching, and that's where we can connect even more so. So good night, everybody here from Sedona. I'm probably going to be in Tucson, Arizona next week, and we're going to come live to you with more amazing guests just like Tina. Tina, I love you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for spending all this time.
anytime, anything for you guys. Thank you so much for everyone's participation. I appreciate you all.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.